Hello, friends. Trace amounts of science. Big allegations coming out today about a member of the MrBeast crew. You might have heard, you might not. But either way, I think it's worth digging into a little bit. So, to give you some backstory, 1 year ago, a channel named SunnyV2 would release a video titled, "How Will the Kris Situation Affect MrBeast?" where SunnyV2 speculates how then Kris Tyson, now Ava's, transition might affect MrBeast. In this video, Sunny hypothesizes how this might change the dynamic Ava used to fill on the channel, and of course the video was met with some major backlash from supporters of the LGBTQ community. And, as a hot-button topic in an increasingly political world, really this should have been easily predicted. Almost as easily predicted as the unfortunate disappearance of now alleged President Joe Biden. I decided not to make that video, but yeah, see me rant about it on Twitter maybe, @DaytonDoes. Anyways, 1 year after that SunnyV2 video, it appears that the chickens have come to roost. I say appears because, well, the case against Ava seems to be growing, pretty incredibly strong. We should be aware that pedo-jacketing is a common way to discredit trans creators, or really any people of importance. Pedo-jacketing being the blanket allegation that all trans people are predators. Now, when I say that it appears that the chickens have come home to roost, it's because there are some oddities, is what we'll call them, surrounding this Ava individual associated with MrBeast. Which is why you have probably been seeing MrBeast trending lately. As far as we know, MrBeast is not knowledgeable of every happening in the lives of all his friends, but he is close enough to it that people feel comfortable taking a shot at one of the biggest creators on YouTube. So far, he's not spoken out about it. I like to believe that old Jimbo is far too invested in a production schedule to really realize what's going on. But I can't be sure. He's awful silent on Twitter, which tells me he probably knows what's going on at this point. And he's got to get with his PR team to figure out what way to best navigate this. And really, there is no winning way, but we'll get to that. The first public decry against Ava would come from a YouTuber approximately 1 month ago. And this YouTuber is known online as Prism, a very small channel, hosting an odd video of a man sitting at a bench with a folder, Chris Hansen style, showing tweets and Discord logs of interactions between a person named Lava, the alleged victim, and Ava. And yeah, we see some pretty weird things. We talk about uncomfortable things on this channel, but nothing gets people riled up more than what might soon come to light.
You post something that says, "Guys, we are so close to our goal. Oh my god, one more Patreon and I'm releasing my nudes." And of course, this is some poorly made joke. It says a goal of $3. I want to see if anyone is dumb enough to give me money. But of course, it's only you and this other guy in this Twitter thread. And this is the part I have a problem with. This isn't a group chat. This is literally just him and this other guy that he's been talking to and that he's friends with online. He says, Lava says, "I'm your first Patreon, big boy." Now keep in mind, Kris Tyson, he was born July 1996, so he would have been 22 years old at the time, or around that age. And you have this guy who was born in November 12, 2003, he would have been 14. And of course, here he is, "I'm your first Patreon, big boy," which he's calling him big boy. And he shows that he donated some money. He donated like $1 or something, so it's not enough to meet the goal. And he says, "But not $5, pathetic, just kidding, kissy face." Yeah, this is the part that I have a problem with, and I'm gonna say this, but if you know this guy is that young and you've been talking to him one-on-one online and you've been socializing with him and making friends, what is this comment supposed to mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that you're telling him that he needs to donate $5 so you can release your nudes or whatever, and you sent him a kissy face. Now, granted, you could say that this is a joke or whatever, this is bro talk, but keep in mind, this is with someone who's 14, And this is someone who's in college talking to, like, someone that isn't even in high school yet, really?
Lava is a Twitch streamer with around 2,000 subs who was roughly 13 years old when they appeared in a MrBeast video. Subsequently, they would form a connection with the MrBeast crew, but specifically Ava. In Prism's video, they go over a few tweets of interest that show a somewhat inappropriate style of conversation between Lava and Ava, such as tweets of Lava referring to Ava as daddy and vice versa. Also tweets from Lava to Ava asking if their wife knew about their adult video addiction, which, it's sort of an odd conversation for a 15-year-old boy and a 23-year-old man to be carrying on with, don't you think? Like, okay, as a general rule, you should never be talking about adult images with a minor under the age of 18, especially one that has no relation to you. Perhaps even if they do have a relationship with you. I don't know. It's definitely not something that I'm comfortable talking about. Let's try a dash of shame. The one exception that I've made was when I found out that my daughter had Googled R34. We had to have a little sit down and be like, do you know what that is? And she's like, yeah, I know what it is. And I got to explain that the internet is very, it's a rich tapestry. It's a scary and dangerous place, especially for a young child. But again, that's as far as that conversation should go. And that was uncomfortable enough. It's my daughter. Anyway, the deflection from all of this has been that they were just edgy jokes. Come on, everybody, don't you like an edgy joke about underage? No, I don't, actually. Lava themselves came out and said that these were just edgy jokes between two people. Yeah, in different age brackets. And as much as I want to retch up my throat at the idea that that's a viable excuse, we're living in a culture where the term gooner is becoming part of everyday speech, so fuck, I don't know. Maybe. But I will say that if that's the culture that we have to live in, then I'm not sure that I want to partake anymore. Don't you guys remember the good old days, back when shame was actually a thing, and you discovered those naughty pictures on the internet for the first time? Did you tell everybody about it? No. It was your deepest, darkest secret. Now everyone's walking around joining goon servers, getting into this weird stuff, and it leads down a bad road. That's all I'm gonna say. So what is legitimately suspicious is that Ava/Kris has torn down their Twitter and their Instagram. The Twitter came down a month ago, which coincides with the release of Prism's original video, because Prism had gone through all the tweets and said, wow, you got some strange interactions with kids here. So poof, the Twitter went. And yeah, now that the heat is on, zam, the Instagram went too. We are on a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen. Neither of these things, in my experience, are ever a good sign. How often has an innocent person torn down their Twitter? I mean, it has definitely been more than once, but it's also more common when there is something to hide. Wouldn't you agree? So, with that logic in mind, what is it that Ava could possibly be hiding? Well, all that comes back to the quote-unquote adult cartoon addiction statement. Interestingly, it turns out that Ava was a big Shadman stan. Who is Shadman? Ugh, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. Shadman is an infamous Rule 34 artist. They were kicked out of university because of their tendency to draw images of people under the age of consent in compromising positions. There's a word for this type of art, but I don't think I can say it. And when I say infamous, I mean infamous, because this is some internet drama. So that means Keemstar has to be involved, and one of Shadman's most infamous images is a likeness of Keem's very young daughter in a compromising position. A fact that Keemstar recently confirmed on Twitter. Hey, look at that. You guys can check it out for yourself. I'm going to leave it up on the screen and just do something in the meanwhile. Pause the video if you need more time. You're slow at reading. Get a dyslexia test. It's not that hard. Now, what is interesting is this. Ava owns some of this style of art printed from Shadman. It would be this image, which Adrox, another YouTuber, was able to find the provenance of from its conception to its placement in Ava's room in a MrBeast video. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There is a MrBeast video out there with some childlike images up on the wall. For everyone in God to see, Kris! I think Adrox could explain the timeline best for himself. So here's about 20 seconds of his video, which I've linked in the description.
How are Ava and Shadman linked? Well, the answer to this is another drawing by Shadman. It depicts a young girl wearing a "Please be patient, I have autism" cap, pointing a gun at her mouth. She has a fidget spinner as an earring and a spade tattoo on her thigh that says BBC, which we all know what it means. On November 18th, 2017, Ava responded to a tweet from Grande and MrBeast stating, "This is coming from a guy who owns a Shad-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room." Just some time later, they also posted the exact same drawing laid on the floor with the caption, "Bonus fidget spinners to throw some extra autism." Initially, it seems Kris was being sarcastic because this tweet came after Shadman had drawn all those disgusting images. However, something messy was going on behind the scenes. In this MrBeast video, you'll notice a very familiar thing at the 9 minutes and 30-second timestamp. From what I believe, keeping illegal art in the bedroom isn't normal at all. The shocking thing is that MrBeast and Kris were roommates during that time.
Wow! Isn't that fucking weird? This young-looking girl in an image appearing in 3 different places. Maybe it was just a secret little Easter egg for the Shadman fans and MrBeast's child audience? Ugh. Or maybe it's just a little bit of a oopsie, a little fucky-wucky, some self-reporting, if you will. Here's another section in Adrox's video where they point out this tweet from Ava referring to some light NSFW art from the 2 main characters of a cartoon on Disney called Gravity Falls, another show in which Shadman has taken some gruesome inspiration.
Maybelle and Dipper are 12-year-old siblings from a show called Gravity Falls. On July 14th, 2017, a user tweeted comics of these characters kissing. Ava replied, "They're twins, so at this point, it's just right?"
So let's jump back over to the Prism video, where we learned that Lava was a moderator on Ava's Discord, and yeah, they had some pretty sussy conversations from over there as well. Would you like to know what type of things were going on inside of that Discord server with a 13-year-old moderator? Well, why don't you hear it from Kris himself?
I know, dude, I would come inside of that egg and then watch her eat it, and then watch her have sex with another man while she comments about how my can never satisfy her.
I'm not sure what half of the things he said mean, but I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't say them to children. How have you been programmed this way, and why do you insist on passing that disease on to others? Honestly, we haven't seen weird stuff like that since we put those SCP pedo videos out. We did some deep diving. We did a bit of an expose. You should go check those out as well. I'm gonna throw the link in the description. So many links in the description! Also, an alleged history of private voice calls between Ava and Lava. Those names are a little bit confusing. I definitely think that Lava was the progenitor of the name, but then, you know, once they had a falling out and had to break up, Kris had to become Ava because now you're Lava without the L. The L was for love the whole time. This was all about love and grooming children in the Discord server. Allegedly! God damn it! That's all speculation, of course. Now, right now, everyone, myself included, I've been up for more than 24 hours, is rushing to the internet to jump on the trend. Because, yeah, of course we are. I hear Gold Rush and I just buy a map to California. Okay, I'm a YouTuber, and that means I'm about 2 steps removed from a vulture. They might be bones that I'm picking over, but I want my piece. Based on what Keemstar and Lava are saying themselves, no grooming ever took place. But let's face it, after the Boogie disaster, yeah, I don't really know how much I believe anything that Keemstar says. You can check those videos out for yourself. Again, playlist in the description. Although the most recent one's most relevant to the Keemstar thing. Anyway, I don't really know if I can trust his judgment of character. It's not unheard of from a victim to not be willing to drop a dime on their crush, groomer, paramour, but we do not know that they are not telling the truth. We can really only speculate. For all we know, this is a perfectly normal, friendly relationship between the two where they sometimes refer to each other as daddy and talk about adult content together. Just a completely normal situation. Where a 15-year-old boy and a mid-20s woman talk about Japanese adult cartoons together. You know, just making edgy jokes about Shatman with the boys. One of whom, is a literal boy. Oh, it happens somewhere every day. And honestly, all sarcasm aside, I'm gonna tell you this. It looks bad. Really bad. Like really, really fucking bad. So, how does this all involve MrBeast, you might ask? Well, MrBeast now has to address this in some capacity. A person he is closely attached to is allegedly a PDF file and irrefutably had contact with Shadman on Twitter. Arguably was a Shadman stan as well. And given Shadman's colorful history of illegal cartoons and alleged domestic and substance abuse, yeah, I think someone is going to have to say something. There is a giant elephant in the room. Do we have to wait for it to die in order to talk about it? Well, I'm glad somebody finally talked about it, and I'm not going to lead the charge, but I get myself in the mix. All this, of course, brings us back to where everything began. Sunny V2's video. How could Ava's transition affect MrBeast? Well, here you go. Here's where we're at now. At the end of Sunny's video, he says that it could have positive and negative repercussions, and it would appear that the negative repercussions have arrived in force. Now, MrBeast has to be trotted out in front of his child audience to either defend or admonish his trans friend. The biggest YouTuber in the world has to make that choice. And no matter what he decides, it's gonna look bad. In the same video, Sunny states that Ava could willingly leave, but even then, that would likely invite some backlash and speculation from the internet. So now, little Jimmy, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. No matter what move they make, they're gonna be catching fire from both sides. Why'd you have to allegedly do this, Ava? All Jimbo wanted to do was sell some candy bars. As far as my thoughts on Ava, well, enough evidence hasn't come out for me to decide one way or the other, I guess. I'm definitely leaning in the direction of, yeah, you've made some fucked up choices. But as a general rule, regardless of your gender, maybe don't interact with kids in this manner. Don't send them flirty kissy faces or call them baby girl. It just looks weird. And when it comes out in tandem with your odd fixation with Shadbase and owning what appears to be illegal cartoons that you feature in MrBeast videos, goddamn, dude, it looks so super fucking bad. Again, it's possible that all of this are just, two unrelated incidents and everything except Ava's taste in artists is fairly above board. But can I say it one more time? For the people in the back, it looks really bad. Like, I can't tell you how bad it looks, son. You're cooked, you're toasted, you're done, you're over. Like, why are you even looking at this kind of crap? Don't ever even look at this kind of art. If I found out it was one of my friends, you're cut off. Cold turkey. You're lucky I don't send somebody to your house. Not even once. Never. While the Supreme Court has overturned a shocking number of cases in relation to the possession of artistic depictions of minors and Shadman situations, that does not mean that it's legal. And even if it is, that definitely doesn't make it ethical. It certainly doesn't make it non-diabolical. And personally, if I were MrBeast, I'd be kicking your ass out the door of my jet as a YouTube prank.
Fuck you, you just got pranked!
And I would have done all that just for the Shadman stuff. As far as the allegations involving lava, well, Ava, let me address you directly at this point. The collective autism of the internet is aimed at you right now in all its force. If there's evidence of you doing wrong with minors, it's a matter of when, not if they find it. It will come to light. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe you're just a colossal moron like Boogie. Maybe you thought you were being altruistic and trying to signal boost some young fan because they liked ya. Maybe you're stuck in a perpetual adolescence and can only empathize with minors. Maybe there's a reasonable explanation for everything that's gone on here. But, however, even with the best explanation possible, I don't know how you could walk this one back, dude. The shadow of doubt will always hang over this lava situation now. It's just how the internet works. That's sort of the double-edged sword. The people who believe the quote-unquote victim is lying to cover up your alleged misdeeds will continue to believe that. Such a circumstance is not unheard of in such situations. The people who believe you will believe you, but you will not be able to carry on as you have thus far. That much we know. The people on the fence will be scrutinizing every last thing you do or say, and I don't know how much being a MrBeast team member pays, but if it's a lot, I mean, I'd just consider taking a long vacation from the public eye. Little trip to Fiji, that never hurt nobody. That's what I'd do. Just, count your stacks, relax on a beach somewhere. And if it turns out you did something untoward, well, I'm sure the feds are gonna come out there and fucking get you. Another interesting thing that I found was posted by Drama Alert, and yeah, Kris Tyson's old YouTube channel was found where he shared revenge prawn with his audience of Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly. He says in the video, oh yeah, it's super bad to leak that type of stuff, but the link's in the description. I've got a few questions, like how did he get them? Why is he distributing them? If he started this young, does it not imply at least a little bit that MrBeast had some sort of clue who he was dealing with? My theory is that every single last person in the inner circle knew. They didn't speak up because they didn't want to compromise the brand, but yeah, eventually something is gonna fall out, and once the first domino falls, there's no stopping it at this point. You gotta move one way or the other, and either way, it's gonna go really, really bad. And do you know how we could have prevented all of this, ladies and gentlemen? Every last drop of heartache we have here. If we had a little bit of shame. Do you remember Shame, everybody? Pepperidge Farm remembers. There used to be a show back on the television in my day where Chris Hansen would invite men to meet underage girls and he'd shame them live on TV. It was the greatest thing we ever watched. And somewhere along the line, I guess we forgot that. Like, Honey Boo Boo came along and everybody decided, okay, we're just going to sit down. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm eating spaghetti and butter, a sadness pile from a failure bowl. I don't know, dude. The slightest bit of shame could have had all of this going another way. But nobody's allowed to question their internal thoughts anymore. You just say, oh, that's the thing you want, that's the thing you do. Just look around, ladies and gentlemen. It is the age of decadence. It is just before the fall of Rome. We only last a couple hundred years. We suck. Oh, well. So with all of Ava's social medias burnt to the ground, how can we possibly dig through the ashes and find anything worth reposting? I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there that people have saved, but they might have skipped over Reddit. Or at least they did. Keemstar alerts everyone that Kris Tyson confirmed their Reddit username TysonBoy34, and you should read these entire posts for yourself, because all this stuff has been deleted, like Kris Tyson's entire Twitter history, but we still got the copies. That's right, the internet never forgets. The first comment we have here is, why the F would you use your VR headset for anything other than 3D LGRP? I can't even say the words, I just blurred them out, trying to scrub them from mine own mind, and it's not working. He also said in another thread, but you could still get teen love? 14-year-olds always stay 14. Ooh. Just, I hate. How cumbrain can you get? I don't know. Let's find out. No second monitor to have adult anime videos constantly playing. Not good enough for this good boy. That's right. That second monitor really pulls the goon cave together. It's gross. He also said, I went on B yesterday. There was a thread where a kid found out his mom did amateur adult videos by stumbling onto her page. He proved it with a side-by-side comparison of his mom's bedroom. He also confirmed that he beat it to it as well. It was a wild ride of a thread. You sound excited about that. I think I did read that green text. I felt nothing but disgust and horror. Why do you not feel the same? He's also into feet. Oh man, I get excited for some sweet, sweet toes. You lied to me. And I mean, you could be into grown adult women feet, but I think he's going the Dan Schneider feet route, which is not a good look. Oh, here's one that adds some perspective. The only reason I go a week without nutting is to see how far it can shoot. I guess that's what you do when you're a millionaire in your 20s, you know? Don't know what to do with your life. Gosh, I have this 5,000 square foot home. Let's see if I can shoot a load all the way across it. Oh my God. I diagnose you with porn sick. It's severe. Stage 4. This one says, take your pants off, sit on the toilet backwards, and fire your load into the bowl. You acting like this is your first time, you F gamer slur. Wow. What the hell? It's a bit of a shock coming for you, Kris. What are you thinking? If ever you thought there was a way to wind any of this back, I guarantee you that it's not a possibility. The dumpster fire has already started. And on top of this, MrBeast is dealing with his own personal drama with the Beast games. Parents are basically freaking out because their kids' phones was confiscated. They're not being fed. Kids are breaking bones out there. And yeah, parents have no way to get into contact with them. I'm a worried mother. My daughter's competing. I knew they were going to take the phone, but I assumed they'd give them times to let them call home and check in. Although she hasn't contacted me personally, I've been in contact with a staff member daily, and he just checked on her for me again a few minutes ago. And she's fine, thank God. I really do hope your family members are okay too. My prayers are with everyone. That seems a little sussy to me. Can you put her on the phone? No, she's fine. Stop calling us. My daughter's a contestant as well. I've been trying to get in contact with her since Thursday afternoon. My anxiety's going through the roof. I just want to know how she's doing. Like if she's eating properly, healthy snacks in between, and staying hydrated. These people better be taking care of our kids. Yeah, they signed a contract, but we didn't. We're not obligated to play by their rules. Please, MrBeast, this is your competition game. Do right by our kids. I'm going to leave it in God's hands. I know he'll protect him, but you will be held accountable if anything goes wrong. I need to know about my daughter's well-being. I seen a video with my daughter sitting on the floor. Oh my God! My sweet Nana, I hope you're doing fine. We love you so much. This situation made me finally get an account. Yes, and well used it was. No child should be forced to sit on the floor. It's hardly the most egregious allegation. We've noticed how unorganized they've been, but food and water are the basics. I was already worried, now even more so. My son requires a voluminous amount of food. Weird flex, but okay, D. It's your son, Boogie2988. Julia says my son's there too. Super worried what I read in the update. The people are going to hospitals for the lack of food. I've not heard from him since Thursday. It's hot outside in Vegas. Are they drinking enough water not to be dehydrated? I'm very worried. If anyone hears from them, please update. Well, Julia, you can just call the guy and he'll look and be like, yeah, your daughter's fine. Your kid's alive, totally. We didn't just put sunglasses on him and put him in a wheelchair. Little Weekend at Bernie shit. This story's still developing. Oh my God, every single minute. Things are just flying by. How do you even keep up with it? No Jumper posted a tweet from Jake the Viking, an ex-member of the MrBeast crew, who I think left on less than amicable terms, but he tweets out simply 2 words, Jimmy knew. That is perhaps some damning evidence on its own. I don't truly know this guy from Bob, but apparently another person that worked on the MrBeast crew popped up to back up Jake the Viking. This is Dawson. I'll let him say it in his own words.
My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Kris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew. I heard many times that Ava, Kris Tyson, is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast has done. Amazon, if you can get your money back, get your money back.
I don't know, man. These could be a couple of nobodies, but I will say scary, if true. Really not a good look, especially as the dehydrated children are piling up inside of a hospital, allegedly. All of this is alleged, but holy shit, man. What a dumpster fire. Part of me's enjoying it. The other part of me is kind of sad that, yeah, it's just a reminder you can't ever trust what you see. What people present to you is not who they are. The Dawson fellow also calls into question some art that Ava commissioned to Shadman, and it has an intimate nature, and it features what looks like his family members. It's just sick. And then there's also an alleged reference to Shadman in a recent MrBeast video posted 2 months ago. You want to guess who was in charge of the costume design for that one? Holy crap. The hole just gets deeper and deeper. I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if we'll ever see daylight again. We might as well get used to being mole people. God's warmth has truly left us for good, hasn't it? Man, it's just like 18 dumpster fires going on all at the same time, and I am staying so warm and cozy. So thank you for taking this ride with me, friends. Join up on the Patreon if you like. Check out my fourth wall for some merch. Oh, we've also got YouTube memberships if you want to do that. Consistent money every month really helps me out, and even if you can't afford it, I mean, you watched the video this far. What else can I ask except that you remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.